You go Marina. It's your phone. I'm back. I'm back. Oh no. See, this country, I guess, I don't know, we have to get serious. Like, you know, for once, like, let's just get serious. You know, the comedy in Ghana is too much because how did yesterday's supposed economic messiah transformed into a mate overnight? You get me? Yeah. How come Ghana's unprecedented rapaholic, who had the magic wand, we were told, then magic wand to transform Islam into a Dubai suddenly, it's now competing with Trotro mates for their seats. Relax, you know, relax. I mean, relax, right? We're talking about the same solid EMT and its chairman.
I would want all of us here to, and on behalf of my colleagues, say a very big thank you to the type of leadership the EMT has enjoyed from Dr. Bawumia. A chairman who is so involved in the work of he works like a member, like a secretary, is sterling quality, professionally excellent. So we are where we are because Dr. Bawumia is putting up a very professional chairmanship to the EMT. And I pray that we continue to work together as a team.
Now, I think that in the history of the Fourth Republic, no vice president can boast of receiving more accolades than our dearly beloved Wale Adam Smith, right? And you see his demeanor when the former senior minister was blowing his mind, right? Mind-blowing job. Mind-blowing job. He had to hold his head in check, lest it fell.
I would want all of us here to, and on behalf of my colleagues, say a very big thank you to the type of leadership the EMT has enjoyed from Dr. Bawumia. A chairman who is so involved in the work of he works like a member, like a secretary, is sterling quality, professionally excellent. So we are where we are because Dr. Bawumia is putting up a very professional chairmanship to the EMT. And I pray that we continue to work together as a team.
Well, so today, Dr. Bawumia says he's just a mate, like, no, oh, no, your mate. No, or your mate, no, your personal grata, non grata. Now, all the economic mess we are in, na odonyame, if we vote for him, he will change Ghana into Hana.
As vice president, I am like a driver's mate. But by the grace of God, if you make me the president, I will be in the driver's seat with constitutional. I will be in the driver's seat with constitutionally mandated authority to pursue my vision and my priorities.
Look, to be fair, Dr. Bawumia has become one of the most exciting political characters in the last 10 years. Yeah, from his "you and I were not there" days, remember? Yeah.
He certified that the poll was conducted in accordance with the laws and regulations governing the conduct of elections. You're aware that that's one of the things, the purposes for which is there.
That is
you were not aware?
Not aware of that.
You were not
that
aware
is not
of
what
that.
is on the pink sheet.
Fair enough, fair enough. You were not aware of that because that's not what is on the pink sheet. Is that
what they signed to on the pink sheet is not to say that the election has been conducted in regards to all the laws and it's free and fair. No, they just signed to attest to what has happened at the polling station.
No, Dr. Bawumia, let's go a step at a time. My question, I have not yet come to what they signed. I'll come to that.
And then to his teachers are suffering, nurses are suffering, Gabinanga, Ohala, Gabinanga, Ohala. Oh, by the way, this is BackPage on Citi TV, and my name is Caleb Kudah. There is a lot to do today, so take a seat. So, like I was saying, we have to give Dr. Bawumia his flowers. He really destroyed John Mahama and Mr. Arthur the late, right? May his soul rest in peace. He reduced Mahama in particular to nothingness, to the extent that anytime you heard Mahama, you heard Mahama in the voice of Dr. Bawumia with an extra accolade. Incompetent Mahama. True? True? Yeah. Now, Mahama's political career has struggled, whether he likes it or not. And listen, absolutely nobody can convince me that Dr. Bawumia did not contribute to that 1 million vote margin that the NDC suffered in 2016. Indeed, it was unprecedented. Why do you think even before he was flag bearer, the NDC, always set out to attack him? He's the arrowhead for attack for Felix Kwaku Fosu, for Sammy Jemfi, for Sam George. They always aim for Dr. Bawumia. He is the force in the annals of the modern day NPP side of things, right? He has worked hard to destroy the NDC and earn himself an enviable status in the minds of Ghanaians as being the best thing to ever happen to Ghana, the best thing ever before sliced bread, okay? So Dr. Bawumia did. Ghana for your Tennessee. Do you think the NPP today that they are bragging that their national party, blah, 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 because for the first time they have a flag bearer from the north, do you think if he didn't outdo himself, like the NPP ever would have made him flag bearer? So yes, he may be a destiny child, but he earned it, right? He worked really hard for it. Now, here's the thing. He wants to be president. At the time that the economy, the Ghanaian is feeling, is worse than what he bastardized. Now, the most disingenuous and annoying aspect of the whole Bawumia enterprise, which he and his team are not realizing, is that he claims to be the brain behind every good thing that has happened since Mahama left office, including the rain that falls.
When we assumed office in 2017, as vice president, I made the decision, with the blessings and support of the president, to focus on the critical but underdeveloped systems that would expand the economy, improve systems, and create jobs through digitalization. We have basically solved the problem of financial exclusion in Ghana. The State of Inclusive Instant Payment Report has ranked Ghana as the #1 in Africa in terms of access to financial inclusion. #1 in the whole of Africa.
Oh yeah, Dr. Bawumia is the magician, he's the messiah, he's everything. But when it comes to the bad things, the worst things, the things that make us agonize, suddenly he was asleep when the house caught fire.
Between 2017 and 2019, all the key economic indicators, such as economic growth, agricultural growth, industry growth, interest rates, the fiscal deficit, exchange rate depreciation, and the trade balance were all moving in the right direction. However, between 2020 and 2022, we experienced severe challenges triggered by the pandemic, which brought the world and our country to a thundering halt. We may be tired of hearing it, but there is no avoiding the fact that the COVID-19 pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine war resulted in the greatest economic depression in the world since the 1930s, with most countries recording negative GDP growth.
Isn't that rich? I mean, so this is what has happened to Dr. Bawumia. In the first term of the Akufo-Addo government, every bad thing we complained about was the fault of John Mahama. In fact, in opposition, he understood that Ghanaians were suffering. He empathized with us.
The economic crisis is everywhere. You care to look outside of Flagstaff House, of course. Teachers are suffering. Teacher trainees are suffering. Nurses are suffering. And nursing trainees are suffering. Patients are suffering. Students are suffering. Traders are suffering. Pensioners are suffering. Drivers are suffering. Contractors are suffering. Civil servants are suffering. And farmers are suffering. Fishermen are suffering and industries are suffering. Artisans are suffering and Kayaye are suffering. The disabled are suffering and men are suffering. Women are suffering and children and Ghanaians as a whole are suffering.
And now, it has been clear, 8 clear years since Mahama left office. It would sound absolutely absurd and maybe insulting to the intelligence of Ghanaians to keep blaming Mahama 8 clear years for the state of the economy. Remember, Bernard Abler says, the economy is what you feel, not the words that are spoken. You remember that, right? Now, Ghanaians say, look, there was Dumso, yes. We were angry, yes. But at no point was our monies invested against the future forcefully taken from us. There was no point, right? We were upset, yes. There was corruption, there was incompetence, yes. We had that. But you claim to have done a banking sector cleanup. It has ended as the dirtiest cleanup exercise. People are still jobless. You spent more money than what was allegedly mishandled. By the way, Dr. Papa Kwesi Ndum is still fighting back for his license. You claimed only incompetent leaders go to IMF. But today, the whole country is sleeping at the car park of the IMF. Ghanaians are visibly upset. Dr. Bawumia, I mean, he has realized it. So the last time he gave a lecture, I mean, maybe probably the first perhaps, people drove through thick traffic to go listen to him. This was Central University. I was at Radio University. We went there. Today, it had to be at UPSA. And a lot of the party people, and trust me, a lot of people tuned out when he was speaking. People were watching football. I was in church, and I was at the point of watching and overnight read his speech just to catch up and all that. Clearly, the eagerness with which people listen to Dr. Bawumia is not the same as before. We have to agree on that. He's a solid guy. Don't forget I've said that. But ever the wily West African man, Dr. Bawumia does not say, oh, guys, I'm sorry, I did not meet your expectations. Guys, forgive me, like I overpromised. That the reality I met overwhelmed me. He conveniently blames his boss now and everyone else around him, his colleagues, by effectively saying, oh, me dear, I'm a mate. Let me do one city. Yes, it's your for back, mama.
As vice president, I am like a driver's mate. But by the grace of God, if you make me the president, I will be in the driver's seat with constitutional... I will be in the driver's seat with constitutionally mandated authority to pursue my vision and my priorities.
That's right. I am the driver. I'm just a mate. I'm not responsible for the ditch we're in. I'm just a mate. But you see, if you know anything about mates, they hardly go to driving school. They learn on the job. And from who? The drivers, of course. So if you've driven us into the ditch and you've learned to drive into ditches, where else are you going to take us? You see what I'm saying, Dr. Bawumia? You get my point? Now, I didn't know he had a prophetic gifting upon his life.
I don't see what we gain by attacking the record of our own government. When you do that and you become then party candidate, what are you going to tell the people of Ghana? Oh, it was Akufo-Addo who misled you and mismanaged affairs. I will be different. Even though I am MPP, I'm still under the Osno's sign. I'm different. And the people of Ghana will be that gullible. No. Let's be serious.
Exactly. So you think that people of Ghana will be gullible? That's what the president said. He said, let's be serious. That's what he said. If you run down the economy, or if you run down aspects of the economy and push that to someone else and claim another part that it looks good and say that is yours, you think Ghanaians will be gullible? Let's be serious. That's the words of the president. Prophetic words indeed. Of a truth, Dr. Bawumia and his boss have put us in a position where we, Ghanaians, the lady who dated a former lover for these guys, now they make us look like they make us question our senses, whether we were in our right frame. To put it very bluntly, they make us feel very stupid. Now, John Mahama is questioning our reasoning, and he says, in a very nice way, he says, look, guys, don't be deceived. Jack Toronto and his younger brother, them all day more. They mess with them all day more.
Now, all those who contributed to the mess are trying to run away as if they were not part of it. People have begun saying, oh, they were not in charge, they were not listening to them and all that. All of them, they inside. Jack Toronto and all his small brothers, all of them are part of the mess that we're going through. None of them can escape responsibility, none of them. Because they've all been a part of this. They all sat in cabinet together. They all took those decisions together. Anytime they were going to borrow from the Eurobond market, they approved it in cabinet. They sat in cabinet and approved it. In 6 years, you went and borrowed $13.5 billion.
I mean, guys, listen, the point is every good leader takes responsibility for messes that happen, right? Even if it's not directly under their purview, they take responsibility and manage things. And then you see, what excellent leaders even do is that when they achieve great things, they be, oh, it's the team, it's the group, we have all that. But Dr. Bawumia, dear, Wizkid, star boy, only when it's good, then he's a Wizkid, then his head is doing, Then when things are bad, Kwaku Ananse. I have seen this picture of Freddie Blay, former chairman of the NPP, and then Chairman Woon to me as well, Ashanti Regional, and then the Futu MP, Apenyo Marking, you know. I've seen that photo. I don't know if you saw it too. No, while Chairman Woon to me was like, hey, oh no, there you go. Apenyo Marking was on this one. I said, let me check what Bay has sent me on WhatsApp now. No, it was what's Umaru Blaze posture for me. His body language was like, maybe I'm Professor. Kwaku Ananse. Yeah, he was sitting at Kimbo and he was like, Kwaku Ananse. One name was stories. The body language is rich. But you know, you never know. People get tired and sometimes photographers are mischievous. You know, another reason why a good number of Ghanaians are suspicious of Dr. Bawumia's promises is that he is promising to do things that we have been asking for while he has been there all along. And you can say that, oh, he's not been the one in charge. Hi to Kofi Bentley, who is now struggling for a La Paz Toyota. You have too many ministers. Basically, reduce them down because some of them are just too flat bulldog. Scrap the e-levy. It is bogus. Scrap the emissions levy. You know, you're just taxing the people to death. That was when Pharaoh said, well, what did Pharaoh say? I said, wusukra, na me no more. Bet, tax, bet, tax, betting. How many of you are investors? Oh, I have investors in the building. Bet, tax, electricity too. They say 15%. They claim they won't do it again. But Ghanaians right now, we don't trust them. NSS people say they have not been paid for 4 months. Right? That's what some of them are claiming. And the officials say they are working on that. And Dr. Bawumia, he says, compulsory because it's not mandatory. Dr. Bawumia, he's in a very difficult position, you know? And it's not even like people are attacking him like, no, I mean, people are not like attacking his person. No, I don't think so. People are just dealing with what he has said. They're just giving him a taste of his own medicine, because he's been calling people incompetent and making himself an examiner and, making us believe that he's smarter than all his predecessors combined. So he's just experiencing what his own boss predicted. And nobody's saying anything, even attacking, offensive, nothing.
I don't see what we gain by attacking the record of our own government. When you do that, then you become then party candidate. What are you going to tell the people of Ghana? Oh, it was a Kufuado who misled you and mismanaged affairs. I will be different, even though I am MPP. I'm still under the Oslo's sign. I'm different. And the people of Ghana will be that gullible. No. Let's be serious.
Now, by the way, can someone help me understand why our beloved Akpafuado is now called Jack Toronto? What is that?
Now all those who contributed to the mess are trying to run away as if they were not part of it. People have begun saying, oh, they were not in charge, they were not listening to them and all that. All of them, they inside. Jack Toronto and all his small brothers, all of them are part of the mess that we're going through. None of them can escape responsibility. None of them. Because they've all been a part of this. They all sat in cabinet together. They all took those decisions together. Anytime they were going to borrow from the Eurobond market, they approved it in cabinet. They sat in cabinet and approved it. In 6 years, you went and borrowed $13.5 billion.
John Mahama concert. I sincerely wish to understand why John Mahama is calling Nana Addo Jack Toronto. Or it's the space. Is it the space or is the facial expression? But Mahama is trying. But his sting is not even as strong as Bawumia's jab. Bawumia just threw like a cat. Injuries for 1 week, 1 month, 2 years. Incompetent Mahama. What is more painful than Jack Toronto? There be swag, sir. I just felt that in my veins. Incompetent man. Oh, brah. That's some bars. Now look at what we are feeling. The economy is also incompetent. That's how we feel. You can't compel us not to say that. Yeah? We see you. We see corruption. Where's that video? Who has that video? Like, it was give me. I want to be reflecting on these things. Like, so that, when it's getting close to the election, we can all reflect on these things, Jack Toronto. There, no, what a bombshell. Promise and fail government. No, you guys, you are too much. According to President Akufo-Addo, Ghanaians are not gullible. We may be hailing. We may be doing honorable. Because maybe you have given us some money, delegates, one more muska and things. But when we are left with the ballot paper and God, between us and the ballot paper, inshallah, ask Adwa Safu what the people did. Yogurt, yebenum. Yebefe. Yogurt, we will eat. But if the fundamentals are weak, the kokoromotu, is it kokoromotu or kokoromoti? The kokoromoti will show you. Let's go for a break. Welcome to the show. This is BackPage on Citi TV. My name is Kudah. Today's show is one of those that gets my old lady friends saying, hey, no, but By the way, did I hear John Mahama say he's going to revamp the Black Star? Did you hear that?
We just came from the African Cup of Nations and we performed abysmally, disastrously. And we performed abysmally because we are not growing our football. And so we're going to work with the Football Association to start catching them young from when they are young so that we can train them and give them to local teams. They will play, get experience before, if they even want to travel abroad, they can travel. We will build the new Black Stars based on homegrown players, domestic players who have trained together for a long time and work as a team. and then we'll bring the foreign ones to come and blend with them.
James, so the small Black Stars are moving from Musu. You are coming to do local team. Is it Julius Debra will be captain in the team anyway? The party are whole I just make home. Well, so Dr. Bawumia said he will make NSS. He will change it from mandatory to like what is the opposite of mandatory? Yeah. These days, no, Ghanaians don't take no prisoners at all.
Let's rethink, because if we are taking national service out, because making it optional for me, I think is taking it out indirectly. So does that mean that after graduation, you are going into unemployment? Because we are in a country that obviously we know that things are not working as expected. So if the vice president is trying to tell us that, okay, wait, after graduation, you go into the garage of unemployment till your time is up. And taking it out will only favor the fortunate few.
I don't think it should be optional, but then it can be refined. There are certain things they can actually add to the national service that will entice the students to do it. They will be motivated to do it.
All right, so in conclusion, Dr. Bawumia, your English was sweet, okay? But the economy is bitter. It's left very bitter stains, a bitter taste in our mouths. You have to show working. Kasa, tinting, and you are prepaid. And, you know, when we know that when the salesman is talking plenty, not just the goods, the product, it has defect, it's defective. Now, fellow Ghanaians, we have a hard choice to make between two defective products. We are just having to choose which is less defective. You know, it's quite a challenge. It's quite a thing. It's quite a thing. A defective package that is lavishly, you know, packaged on our taxes, and one that is hoping to be lavishly packaged on our taxes. Nothing will change if we don't hold them to power, if we don't insist to do the right thing, if we take, you know, if we fail to hold them by their boss of kinky. If we don't hold them by their boss of kinky and we don't demand fish, they'll just give us shito and we will be there. By the way, before I go, the Member of Parliament for Yendi, he's the son of the former Vice President, Alhaji Aliyu Mahama. And for me, a young boy, all I remember of the man is that he's the man who was championing discipline, discipline, discipline. It doesn't look like his son is heeding that advice. Does it?